All right, guys, so let's talk about this. So, last night, you had David Dubois versus Fabio Wardley. Now, let me just say, they put on a war. They had a fight. They had an actual fight. Not a whole lot of boxing involved, but more of a fight. Okay? That's something that we can applaud. We can applaud that. Um, Let me just say this. Daniel Dubois did a couple of things. He did a couple of things last night. One, he didn't fold and break under pressure. He got dropped twice. Well, he kept his composure and he was determined. Now, maybe he realized he got careless. He got caught. He got timed by, just being too reckless. He stayed reckless, though. So his determination was there. And basically, like when he got hit by Usyk, he was hurt a lot more than he was by Fabio. So he wasn't like on wobbly legs. He just, okay, damn, I got caught. And he went down. So I think he didn't really worry about it too much. Fabio didn't box, didn't stay behind his jab, move, lateral movement, anything, keep it long, keep Dubois on the outside, time up when he get in, spin off of him. He didn't do those things. And the fact of the matter is, he couldn't get away from that overhand. Dubois does now how he fights. He leans and he kind of stays low to make you punch down instead of straight out. And when a fighter does that, when they're leaning, if you step to the side, if you step to the side, okay, like if I'm fighting out the southpaw stance and I'm doing that, if you step around and you're already stepping away from the power hand, right? But if you step aside, guess what? He can't hit anything. And Fabio kept making the mistake of throwing the hook, and then Dubois would just come with the other hand and come over top, and he kept clipping him. Fabio's always showed he had a good chin, right? He could take a punch, but he just couldn't get out of the way. He was flat-footed. He's fought flat-footed. He decided to bang. It went the way it went. We could have, would have, should have all night long, but he fought the way he fought. Dubois fought the way he fought. Dubois only knows how to fight one way. But that little go low, get low that he's added, we've seen that against Joshua. And now this is something he's doing that he's going to continue to do. He's keeping himself down because before he was standing up and his hands is here. Now he's coming down low. And, that what he's trying to do, he's trying to get you to shoot and throw the overhand. And then he's just going to slight turn and then come over top. And that's pretty much what he was doing. Fabio didn't have the foot speed to get away. He was getting caught. Now, let me also say this. I don't see these heavyweights as Hall of Famers or all-time greats. Now, there's a few that are Hall of Famers, okay, but because of their accomplishments. But in terms of pedigree, in terms of quality fight, of a quality fighter, they don't do a lot of basic things. See, it's the little things that they overlook. And it shows you that those things are not so little. Why? Because those little things are causing you to lose. They don't have a second, third, fourth gear. They only know how to fight one way. And when a fight gets tough, that's when you see what a fighter is made of. When they start getting hit and they start getting to a point where like the guy that they're fighting against is picking up momentum, they don't know how to nullify it. Usyk is the only heavyweight that I see out there that knows how to nullify everything his opponent is doing. Every other heavyweight, you watch them, they all have to be in a certain type of fight to look their best. Otherwise, if it starts to get tough, Fury included, they just don't know what to do. They just don't. Let's not forget, Wallin cut him, hurt him, and was doing well. And then Fury was able to overcome it, but that's because of his experience versus Wallen's, Fury just had more up in here overall. When the things that Wallen was doing over and over stopped working, Wallen didn't know what else to do. And that's what you saw. So every one of these heavyweights that you watch, you see it. When it gets tough, they start to fall apart. They don't know what else to do. And this is why when you judge fights, I say I'm looking at when I'm not comparing any of these fighters to any other. I don't have to compare them. Looking at who these fighters are, and we talk about who the best fighters are in this generation. That's what I'm focusing on. These heavyweights are not impressive, man. I really look at them, and people will applaud and go crazy. What a war! What? Right. It's a war because you got two guys in there that's very limited. That's the whole thing. That's why when you look at all these fighters, it's not because a fighter lose or get knocked out in 2 or 3 rounds. We saw certain fighters. Hey, Duran got knocked out in 2 rounds by Hearns. Shavers got knocked out. Ken Norton got knocked out, I think, the first round. First or second round, I think the first round by Shavers. So, no, we're not talking about just because of shit happens. But what we're saying is when you see rematches, when you see a fighter can't do anything different, they don't know how to do anything different, right? And then you look at who the opponents are. Dubois, Fabio, the other guys, I can't even remember their names right now, but the handful of guys is out there right now. This is the thing. I heard people saying before the fight, they said they think Dubois was going to lose because, Dubois is too anxious, man, and the way he fights, he's going to run into something. He got dropped twice. But Dubois, he didn't let Fabio break him down. In fact, he was hitting Fabio. But I'm gonna show you something though. And this is, go back and look at the fight if you didn't. Dubois had Fabio on spaghetti legs several times. He was like one punch away from knocking his dude out. And he was like tired himself and couldn't land the shot that he needed. This is what I'm saying. The fighters don't condition themselves the way they're supposed to. They fight the wrong fight. They're just throwing a bunch of arm punches. They get to the point where and it's like, why are you fighting like this? You can't fight for the fans. You got to fight to win. And this is what's going to happen every time. You fight the way Fabio did, people are going to say, great fight, great fight. But you know what they're going to do? They're going to go back. Those same people going, oh, man, he should have boxed more. He should have used his jab, his movement. He should have just kept, Dubois coming in, made him run into something. That's what he should have been doing, right? These are the same people that if he had done that, they're going to say, all he did was run. He ain't stand and fight. He ran. Right. All right. And the thing with Usyk is this dude came up from cruiserweight. For the heavyweight before, but then he went to cruiserweight. Yeah, it comes to heavyweight. Look at what he's done. I told y'all he wasn't going to run from Fury, right? No, man, he's going to have to, stay out of the way. Right, stay on the end of Fury's reach and give Fury every advantage he needs, right? No, he's too smart for that. You guys, you don't talk off boxing experience or boxing knowledge. You talk off who you want to win. You talk off what you think just based on, I don't know, video games or some nonsense that some so-called expert told you. I told you Fury was going to walk down. If he walks down Wilder, he'll get Wilder out of it. Remember that? No, come on, Aries. He running to that right hand. I'm like, bro, let me tell you something. Wilder can't even fight going forward, let alone backwards. Wilder is always at a stalemate. He stands right there. Wilder keeps his hands out far, right? He's 6'7". He's usually taller than everybody else. And he just slides back. He slides back. He's not doing much, right? But he'll throw that jab. He'll just jab and throw nothing behind it. And if he does, it's the right hand, right? So every time he throws that and he does that, because of the caliber of fighters he's fighting, he's able to get away with it. Wilder really can't fight. If you pressure this guy, this is what I mean. These fighters have to be in the right type of fight to look good. Walk him down. He's too light in the ass. He's too skinny. No legs. His thighs, legs scrawny. He's not going to be able to take that pace. This is the same guy that told you he had no legs when he got to the ring because he had a 45-pound costume and it wore his legs out. Remember Dylan White was like, man, we jump uphill with 50-pound vest on. With this guy walk to the and what I'm talking about, right? So nobody, Max Kellerman, not Wilder himself, nobody thought, when I said that, and I said that way before Fury did. I said, man, after the first fight, during the first fight, I'm even like, why is this dude going backwards? Everybody right here in the right. I'm like, that shows you the difference. And you dare put this motherfucker in the same category as Muhammad Ali? This dude is on the back foot because of a guy that's going to throw nothing but a jab and a right hand or 1-2. He's not going to start. He look very limited, and this is what I'm saying. I can see like Fury's not the person everybody think he is, because if he see what I see, if I don't know what the hell his trainer's telling him, I know what I'd be telling him, and then what happens? All the Wilder fans and all the people who just swore they knew what they were talking about, Fury then tells you guys he's going to walk Wilder down. He's going to stand right in his face. You 6'9", you got that reach, power jab, step in with that jab, right? You know how to catch shots, right? Step in with that jab, double it, triple it. Wilder's going to do nothing but go straight back. He has no footwork. He doesn't use lateral movement. Wilder literally walks backwards around the entire ring, just walking literally backwards. Y'all seen that? He has nothing else. And defensively, he's not slick. He just basically, and then he'll try to grab you. Back of your head, that's Wilder. And Fury said when he got knocked down and he got up, he realized he started winning that round. Wilder can't fight going back. Duh. I said that plenty of times. But the caliber of fighters he was fighting, they just basically didn't have the courage. They was trying to stay away from that right hand. But I'm saying particularly Fury, because of his size, because of his height, his reach. And I said, if Fury sit down on his punches, man, he can knock guys out just because he's big. Bottom line, with that reach, he's going to keep them at a distance where they can't get close enough. Therefore, when he throws and put his body into that shit, they're going to get the full blow of his shot. Simple. He went in there, he did it, and it worked like a charm. And pretty much, y'all see the results. So, yeah, man, me and my cousin was talking yesterday. He said, man, he like, cuz, I can't even watch this. I said, yeah, I hear you. I feel you. I said, it's just something to do. And, I do a boxing channel. So he's like, yeah. So, yeah, but other than that, yeah, they had a fight, and I applaud them for doing what they did, for what they did. But at the end of the day, man, for what the fight was, like, based on two guys who just said the hell with skill, we just going to throw it, just throw punches and, but when you start talking about fight of the year and all that, I look at the elements involved in the fight, and I don't think every fight should look the same. You make a choice and you do what you do. But when you start talking about all-time greats and you bring up those type of fights, I'm laughing at you. We don't do that. Those type of fights are like, if you want to say defining fights, look at your era, look at eras before you, look at what you're doing. For a guy that's known to be a boxer, puncher, which is Fabio, for a guy that's nothing but a brawler, and Dubois, you don't think you need to pop that jab in his face, step around, keep it long, make him run into something? Because you know that Dubois don't have the patience, right? And the more he thinks, the easier it is for him to hit, because he fights that fast pace to throw something, because he fights like he got a lot of nerves going on. Like, he's like, all right, let me just pressure. I'm trying to not get hit. I'm just, I'm trying to come in there and just, yeah, basically. And Fabio was standing straight up. He already standing straight up when he fights, right? He's doing this shit here. Fabio, where's the jab? Like Lennox told you guys, stop doing this. Keep that out here. Why? It's already halfway out. You're not trying to hurt him with your jab. You're just trying to touch him, make him worry about coming in. Make him try to, because at some point he's going to start trying to find you with the overhand, but it's going to be sloppily. And what Fabio was doing was planting his feet and throwing the hook. And every time he would do that shit, what was Dubois doing? Duck his head even further. Bam! And then come over top. And he was clipping him. He hurt him so many times, but he couldn't even finish him. Look, it looked like if he would have just went, Fabio would have fell over. And several times he had him hurt and couldn't finish him off. Finally, the referee that's it. Anybody screaming early stoppage, you guys don't know what the hell you're talking about. I wasn't no early stoppage. That dude got his ass kicked bad. He took a lot of blows. That's the type of fight. All it takes is one fight like that, and all of a sudden you can start developing brain damage from a fight like that. He took some solid blows. Man, he was looking like that guy. Remember Enter the Dragon? The Claw, the guy at the end. Remember how he had that blood on his nose and his face? That's what Fabio was looking like. Like that had that clown nose on, cut head or whatever. He was, he was bloody, eyes swollen shut. The guy got beat up, man. The hell? What do y'all mean? When your shots landing in the right spots, it don't take but one good pow and the whole eye swollen. It don't take 10. One, just one. All right, one shot can break a nose, bust your lip, knock your teeth out. So he got beat up, man. He started getting beat up. Like he was taking heavy blows, way too many blows. And as a pro, man, look, I got to show not just the ref something. I got to show me something. I need to know that I'm, but Dubois rose to the occasion. It's just as simple as that. So how consistent he'll be, only time will tell. But he rose to the occasion and he got the job done, and that's all it is, man. I mean, like I said, we can sit here all night talking about what should have happened and but my thing was when people asked me who I think was going to win, I said, I don't know. And the reason I said going off momentum, one would think Fabio. I said, I can understand why people saying Fabio. I said, I don't know with Dubois because he's kind of shaky. I said, but you also can learn from your losses. Like I say, experience gained is not just from fights you win, but losses as well. Now, if you're a crybaby and you don't know how to take a loss, those fighters get affected more because they don't know how to resort to anything else. They don't have any other tactics. Dubois got one speed, man. Just one speed. But it was how determined is this guy? How bad does he really want this fight? If he finds himself getting hurt, getting dropped, does he, what does he do? And he showed us. So I said, I don't really know. And this is what I'm saying. It's harder to call certain fights because of the two people. I always tell you, you have to look at consistency, man. But if you look at a fighter who, even consistent, still makes a lot of mistakes in fights, but because he wins, people don't look at those mistakes, like Fabio. This is what I'm saying. So I'm like, I don't know. It depends. And I didn't really know how Dubois was going to come out. So, but my point is, you think that you know what's going to happen based on what happened last time a guy fought. Then you got to understand, Fabio is not Usyk. I've been telling you guys, the one guy right now that look like he'll beat all these dudes is Moses Atama. Fabio is not Moses Atama. Moses going after a guy like Fabio and Caballero and guys like that, that's the fights he should want, because these are the top guys. As far as Moses fighting and beating Usyk, I don't know, but I'm going to tell you something. If anybody in the heavyweight division right now can beat him, it would be Moses Atama. Now, one thing I was thinking, and I'm going to get off of the heavyweights and go to another fight, but the one thing I was thinking about was this. Usyk speaks really highly of Anthony Joshua, his training, and him saying that AJ is going to be world champion again, right? Now, this is what I'm thinking about. AJ said he wants to retire at 38. Usyk said he wants to retire at at 41. And out of friendship, does Usyk say, and out of respect, does he say, look, I'm retiring, and if anybody I want to give a shot at again is you? Does he and AJ fight a third time? Or does Usyk retire undefeated or fight somebody else? I look at it this way. If he retires undefeated, then the belt's up for grabs. We already know in boxing they're going to go by popular demand to put guys in there who, even if it means skipping over other guys that deserve it. We already seen that. Now, if Usyk gets beat by somebody, now you got that one guy that has the other 3 belts. Now Daniel Dubois has the WBO. Do they put AJ in there with that guy? You know, first AJ got to get past this fight he's having coming up soon. But bottom line, I thought about that because the way he's speaking about AJ, I've never, heard Usyk really, he doesn't really talk about guys. He always gives guys credit. I've never heard Usyk talk to down somebody, show jealousy of anybody. But however it goes, I don't think boxing wants a champion that's not well known. I don't think they want to. I know they don't. So therefore, I'm looking at how they set these matches up. Who's going to be that guy? We don't know yet. Boxing needs something interesting to happen, and it doesn't need any shenanigans, bro. It doesn't need no nonsense. It needs something legitimate to happen. I'm all about earning. But this is a different day and time, different mindsets out there. But anyways, we'll see what happens. Usyk may very well retire undefeated. I know this. Whoever is out there better be prepared, because Moses Itama, to me, is the deadliest heavyweight out there. That guy is definitely you look at the fights. See, my thing with AJ is if AJ can become the old AJ or better, then we talking about something different. But I haven't seen that. So whatever Usyk saw in training and all that, it still comes down to what you do in that ring. As far as I'm concerned, Moses looked like he'll destroy all these guys, man. That's just my take on what I see with Moses. Now, in boxing, you can have one of these things where Moses have a fight with a guy that he's supposed to go in and destroy, and all of a sudden that night Moses just doesn't show up. It happens. It happens. So the way I see it is like this. If Usyk does retire undefeated, and it'll be cool to see Usyk retire undefeated. But if he does retire undefeated, the heavyweight division is wide open. You got belts all over. Are they going to do mandatory challenges? What are they going to do? How are they going to, some type of tournament, whatever. But it needs to be something legitimate, man. If somebody beats Usyk, then so be it. And for Usyk, he'll be gone. If it happens on this very last match, or if it happens, however it goes. If it's before 41, then yeah, automatically you'll probably want, more than likely want a rematch. But yeah, as far as AJ goes, he's at the tail end of his career. Fury as well, Wilder as well, Dillian White as well, Joe Joy, all those guys. So this next crop of heavyweights coming up, there's no real star power. It'll be more of, okay, well, their fan base, their countrymen are behind them, but overall, there's really nothing about these guys that people are really going crazy over. You know what I mean? But yeah, you know what? It is what it is. I just thought about that because there's really not guys out there that's like, we who watch boxing know who these guys are. But overall, I'm gonna be honest with you, boxing has become boring, man. It's really boring. And all of this, we hear more about Dana White and Zuffa beefing with Eddie Hearn and Frank Warren and this guy and that guy and all this back and forth banter. We hear more about that than the actual fights, man. The fighters are being divas. They don't want to fight each other. Everything is about, I only want top dollar fights. I don't want to fight the real tough guys. If the money's not right, or the money's not what I want it to be, and you're getting all of this nonsense. So, boxing is not where it should be. But as long as they can get a very high, live gate, then they feel like, well, the show was successful. Yeah, because you guys keep supporting it. But the boxing fans are really being cheated. But you're doing it to yourselves. Listen, man, be kind to your own mind. Stop stressing over these damn events. I'm not spending one penny on nothing that I feel shaky about. So that's just what it is, man. So, and let me just say this too. All this stuff with Zuffa, like, just look at a guy like Dana White, who was talking all this nonsense about boxing and shooting boxing down. And then all of a sudden, oh, well, I used to be a boxer myself, I this and that, but MMA is this and MMA is that. Now, yeah, but you don't mind making that money, right? And I'm going to tell you something. If he have his way, them low wages that he's paying UFC fighters, that's exactly what he's going to be doing to these boxers, man. Guys like him, he doesn't have a boxing mind. He is a businessman. He's a businessman. That's the problem. They don't care about the fighters. They care about how much money can I make off of you. As far as I'm concerned, guys like Dana White, we got to shoot them down, man. Yeah, we got to shoot them down. We got to shoot the ideas of what they're trying to do down. I'm not interested in any of it. I'm just about the fights. That's it. All that other nonsense, I don't care about. And the fact that these guys are trying to get rid of the Muhammad Ali Act, come on. What did that tell you about them? Yeah. I know what it tells me. Now, on to the last topic. This guy, Zach Chilli, people call it an upset because David Morell was the more known fighter between the two. I feel like the word upset, that it's just used way too often. It's overused because you don't know of a person. That person had these skills already. You just didn't know. You wasn't aware that this person was that good. I don't consider it an upset. See, the way upset to me is when you lose to a fighter that is just not on your level. That's beating nobody. You understand what I'm saying? Like you haven't seen, for me personally, I haven't seen anything in this guy that I feel like this guy's a threat. Nothing. And all of a sudden, this guy shows up and he's a better version of himself than what we've seen. You understand what I'm saying? Or if that fighter that has the proven fighter, forget the name, all of a sudden comes in and he's doing everything and he just somehow he just loses the fight. Like what? Like, you understand what I'm saying? That's an upset to me. But in terms of star power, this is what people do. They go by who the popular fighter is. I don't care about who's the popular fighter. That's like there's albums right now sitting on some shelf somewhere, music that you've never heard, right? And because you've never heard it, you probably walked past this album a million times and never bought it. But then all of a sudden, one day you at somebody's house and they're playing and you're like, oh, like, damn, I didn't know this. I did that with the movie called Howl, this werewolf movie. I used to see the movie all the time in Best Buy and I never bought it. And then the day I decided to buy it, there was only one copy left. And I said, you know what? And I just bought it. Man, I love that movie. And then one of the people, I remember somebody said, but it's not American. I'm like, man, the hell is that? If the movie's good, it's good. Love that movie. So I don't really consider it an upset. But regardless, what we saw, and that was David Morell could not find this guy. He couldn't find Zach Chilli. He couldn't find him. He didn't know how to create openings. He was trying to feint and fade and pretend, and Zach Chilli was just waiting patiently, and he just became a pest. He just pressure. I'm going to just throw hard, fast punches at this guy, but I'm not going to be there for the receipt. He was able to find and hurt David Morell. David Morell wasn't able to find and hurt him. And pretty much he saw, all right, David's trying to fight back. He's trying to, match my energy. He's trying to match my aggressiveness. I'm going to catch him. And basically for David Morell, if you was to ask anybody, more than likely they would tell you David Morell's the better boxer, right? None of that worked. He couldn't find it. And it's the thing. When you only have one gear and you really don't know what else to do. And the thing was, he was doing all this here and got himself caught doing all that, right? He's doing all of this, and he's from a distance. Nothing he's going to throw, if it lands, is going to have any power on it. So he's from a distance. He's trying to find out how to get in. He's looking for an opening, and he can't. And I believe Zach at his corner saw that, and he knew it. He couldn't get in. Just be patient. Just stay on him. Keep doing what you're doing. He can't figure you out. His timing is not there. He can't get you. You're eventually going to catch him with something because he's trying to bang with you instead of box. And we saw what happened. And basically, I remember when he had David Morell on the ropes, had him rocking him, but David was still slipping and moving. Then he had his hand down, got caught with a shot, the bell rung. And, you know, when he got him in that position last time, he got him in that vulnerable position, he said, nah, I'm not letting you off the hook this time. And he got him out of there, man. He did what he had to do. Again, ref shouldn't have stopped. Like, guys, y'all want to see somebody get killed in the ring, right? Because, or end up brain dead, right? Let me tell you something. When your hands go down and you do that Tommy Morrison, Ray Mercer shit, and you're literally out on your feet, your ass is on the ropes, and you pow, I mean, you guys aren't fighters. That's why you say the dumb shit y'all say. But at the end of the day, David Morell, he just got beat. There's no excuses. There are no excuses. He just got beat. It's as simple as that, man. Where does he go from here? I don't know. I don't feel like a loss or two should set you back to where, you know, you just, fighters, listen, you can't fall apart because of a loss. Once it gets to that point, you just start having trouble with everybody. No fight is an easy fight. You don't know your experience or anything. None of it shines to get you through the occasion. Everything, it could get you to survive, and you may win the fight. But when you get to the point where you're struggling with journeymen, when you're struggling with everybody, every fight you have is just like you have to, you know, you don't have what you're used to. Then it's only a matter of time before you know, what's the guy's name? What's the British guy's name? The muscular guy. David Benavidez wound up knocking out. I didn't see him beating David Benavidez. I said every time this guy steps up in a big fight, he loses. And I forget the guy, Lyndon Arthur. Lyndon beat him, then he beat Lyndon. And that's like the biggest win of his career. When he lost to Kovalev, I can't remember his name. Y'all know what I'm talking about, though. When he lost to Kovalev, when he lost to when this guy loses, he looks bad. And when I'm looking at him, I'm saying, yo, he's not the fighter that everybody thought he was going to be. He looked nervous. He looked intimidated when he was fighting against Kovalev. But any other person, you know that he fights. I never saw him look scared like that. He looked scared when he was in there with Kovalev. When he had Rock Kovalev, he couldn't finish Kovalev off, and I never saw him try to really take over the fight. He was just in there trying to be careful. I said, yeah, you could see, like, he's not the guy that everybody thought he was. And so he's as good as he was. My point is, when you're pushing the fighter, they're knocking everybody out. They start saying, I'm ready for everybody, anybody. I want to be world champion. I'm ready. I'm not ducking nobody. But they're clearly not ready. That was this guy. Y'all know who I'm talking about. I can't remember his damn name right now. But Anthony Yard. Yeah, Anthony Yard. But y'all see what I'm saying. There's a difference in skill levels. But we're in a time where everybody think rock'em sock'em robots is boxing. And that's not boxing. I've never in my life been in the gym, trained anybody, worked with anybody, and seen a fucking trainer coming in and tell you to just stand in the middle of the ring and duck your head and just start swinging punches. So I don't know why the hell fighters get in the ring and decide that's what they're going to do. I just don't understand, aside from the nerves. The nerves. And a lot of fighters, you do have fighters that they're not good thinkers. They have to be instructed on everything. If they're not, they just throw punches. It's like you have to constantly remind them of what to do and how to do it. Fighters like that are not gonna. if you make it in the pros and you fighting like that and you're losing, you're really a fighter who you found boxing, but you probably should do something else. We seen Roy Jones lose his cool a couple of months ago with his guy. Roy was out of line. He was wrong for that. Definitely out of pocket. But the frustration that these guys get, Roy is definitely a better fighter than he is a trainer. Definitely. You that's not how you motivate your fighter. People, oh, he tried the nice way. Man, listen, ain't no tried the nice way. It's about being professional. And if your fighter already is frustrated, you're not going to light a fire under his ass. Oh, if he get mad, I don't care even if he mad at me. As long as he give me what I want, all that old school bullshit. No. The bottom line is that guy is just not that good. It's that simple. He's just not that good. He just doesn't have what it takes to win. And that's why when you hear Roy saying, if you do what I'm telling you, you're going to see speed, a lot of speed. And yeah, in the gym, he did what you want him to do against the sparring partners that you picked. And usually what happens in sparring, a lot of times, they have what we call focus sparring. That means it's something particular that you're working on. So they will tell the sparring partner, like, yo, Aries, do me a favor. We trying to get his confidence up, right? I want you to pressure him, feint, get him, but when you get him on the ropes, don't work him over. Just let him, throw his, whatever, and we try to get his confidence and stuff like that. And the fighter don't know that these things are said to you. But they'll tell me, we want you to focus on your defense, but they don't know that you told the sparring partner to just, ease off, don't, punish him, or don't really, right? Stuff like that. Or just, I want you to spar, but I want you to do nothing but throw a jab, feint, move, just use your jab. I want you to just use your jab, right? They're trying to get these fighters to, all right, muscle memory, everything. You know what you're supposed to do. A lot of these fighters, these trainers, they don't go over the basics anymore, and they overlook very valuable things. Like I said in the previous video, this is why when I see Devin Haney training with James Toney, it's like, yeah, y'all really don't understand. He's trying to absorb and pick up things that most trainers of today's era is not teaching. And so those things, like if you're sitting up here saying James Toney was this and he was that, right? So if Devin Haney is absorbing all these things and he's learning these techniques and tactics, Devin gonna be a monster, man. Like you understand what I'm saying? He's gonna be real, and I ain't talking about no scary monster. I'm just saying like humanly possible shit, of course, but he's gonna be a monster in that motherfucker. If he can absorb all of that, because already, and you gotta understand too, Devin can move. Devin can move. He got fast feet, fast hands, and he can box. James Toney was flat-footed. So if Devin can get that, that's going to improve what? What's the one thing in Devin's game that we said is the weakest part of his game? His inside fighting. You understand? That doesn't mean hang out just to hang out. But if he can absorb that and catch them, with the reflexes and all and timing, and he can catch them shots and move where he needs to get to use his feet, but then he needs to be able to stand in the pocket. That's the whole thing, to eliminate all weaknesses. So you have no weaknesses. That's what I hear people say, oh, every fighter got a weakness. No, that's not true. Every fighter don't have a weakness. Most fighters have a weakness. Every fighter doesn't have a weakness. Now, as far as you being perfect in the ring, there's always something people going to find. How many times have somebody told you, I watched the fighter and I thought I could beat this guy? And they got in there and they're so confident, but they go in there and not just lose, but lose bad. Because sitting from the outside looking in, I could beat this guy. Oh, man, I could, right? Till you get in there and you realize, especially a fighter that you think run. You think he's a runner. So you get in there and realize, damn, look, it's funny because Regis Prograis talked the most stuff about Devin and got dropped. Brian Norman was talking all this stuff about how Haney has no power and how Haney ain't going to take his punch, and he got dropped. So all these things that people say, it's like, it don't matter what you say. Your ego, the ego is what get a lot of these fighters hurt bad and get beat up in the ring because they're not as good as they think they are. But you got your corner lying to you. You got your friends lying to you. Your fans are online jumping in your comment section on all your videos lying to you till you get in there and you find out like, damn, I thought this dude was a chump. I mean, we even heard Jamel Charlo say that about Canelo. He's watching him, and he's like, man, I could beat this guy, man. And he got in there. Now, if they fought at 154, maybe it would have been a different fight. But you jumped up to 168, and you couldn't do what Crawford did. So, yeah, people learn. There's weight classes for a reason. For a reason. Everybody don't have the same ability. It's as simple as that. So, David Morell, you know, he wasn't... David Morell wasn't the winner in this fight, of course. He came up short. You know, but that's boxing, man. And he did what he did. Now how he bounces back is yet to be seen. I think pretty much that's all I want to talk about, but I will close by saying this, you know, fighters need to pay attention to who they are, be real with themselves, and don't make dumb decisions. You know, when Regis Prograis, the last video I saw him have, the last interview, he spoke about when he just fought against Conor Benn. Remember when they were saying that Conor, they don't think Regis is going to show up? He basically, he's been quiet. They haven't heard from him. He hadn't even came to where they were yet. And remember Regis did that video saying, that's not true. I'm coming. Y'all heard the rumors. No, I'm going to be there. The fight ain't off. You know what I'm saying? It's going down, all that. But he told the truth later. After all the, you know, the smoke cleared, he said he was terrified that because he just didn't want to box anymore. It got to the point the hunger wasn't there, right? And then he said something that I find incredibly stupid. And I'm going to tell you why it's stupid. Because this is your health you're gambling with. Regis Prograis said, I knew I was going to lose the fight. I already knew. He said, I wasn't even trying to win. This is his words. I just wanted to prove to myself that I could still do it, because everybody had wrote me off and said I can't do this no more. So I just wanted to prove it to myself. You just debunked your whole point. You said you knew you were going to lose and you wasn't even trying to win. Make that make sense. I just wanted to prove to myself that I could still do it because everybody wrote me off. That's the point, Regis. They're telling you don't have it anymore. Just because you didn't get knocked out doesn't mean that you proved anything. All you proved was they were right. Because if you can't beat Conor, that means there's a whole lot of people you can't beat. And it wasn't even competitive. You got beat up. So what did you prove to yourself? I was right. I couldn't win. And I can't win. But I just went the distance. I mean, like, when Rocky fought Antonio Tarver in the last Rocky movie, he just wanted to prove that he still could do it. That's what, you know, when I hear fighters say that, I'm like, man, the human ego is what get a lot of people unalived, get a lot of people in bad situations. Like, what was the purpose of that? So going forward for any fighter, man, if you don't learn anything, at least learn to not what to do, what not to do. You know, that's why, like, when you hear me say Roy Jones talking about he was a depleted fighter when he fought Antonio Tarver, but you fought over a decade after that. So after over a decade of being washed up, you just still putting your life on the line, but you can't compete anymore with the top level. You only good enough to fight journeyman, and you'll win to you'll beat journeyman and then lose to journeyman. And after all them losses, you was a depleted fighter, but so who trained you? Who was in your corner? These people didn't care for you too much. And this is why I'm saying all that depleted fighter stuff. Stop. Because for health reasons alone, nobody should have gave you a license to continue to fight. If you was a depleted fighter, that's the excuse. The ego won't let you just say the better man won. So the excuse is, I was a depleted fighter. Your legs are gone. Your reflexes wasn't the same. And now the things that you normally did and got away with and didn't work against Tarver. And when you went there against Glenn Johnson, the same thing. You were so depleted that you were still on the ropes. No, you were scared. You didn't know how to weather the storm. Then when he let his hands go, he wasn't even bothering Glenn Johnson. Glenn Johnson would immediately back off, but Roy Jones threw the same repetitive combinations. And it got to the point, hand speed didn't mean anything. Just time him, that's all. And without his being able to use his legs, that was that. The perfect example to show you how you know Roy wasn't no depleted fighter, because when you talking about skills, what that got to do with you losing weight? Your brain. What that have to do with anything? Look when he fought Prince Abadu Ajami, right? Ajamu or whatever. Go watch that fight. The first round he jumped on Roy. Roy was literally ducking and I'm like, what is he doing? I'm like, damn, Roy, like he looked bad. Okay, he weathered that storm. Look at that fight. Roy got to the point, the hand speed, he's on his legs, he's moving, right? His legs was there, everything. Everything. This guy was a low-tier fighter. Roy couldn't even hurt him, though. He kept coming in. Then all of a sudden, you saw Roy Jones got the win. It wasn't anything about a depleted fighter. The thing was, what used to work no longer worked. And now that I can't, effectively move because this guy wasn't able to get to him. But Roy was moving, dancing on his legs and everything. If he's in there with a high caliber fighter, right? Here's the problem. Roy can't find you. And for Roy to try to make you find him, well, it depends on who he's fighting. If you're fighting a journeyman, okay. But look what happened when he fought Joe Kawasaki. You see what I'm saying? Look at what happened even when he fought Bernard later, who's 4 or 5 years older than him. This is what I'm saying. You got to learn how to put your ego aside and know when it's time to just say, you know what? I did all I needed to do in this sport. I'm good. But if it's about money and you just need money and you want to talk and say it's passion, it's hunger, okay, cool. But when you start trying to take credit away from the people that beat you, saying that you was depleted, you wasn't the same, then why are you still in the ring? You didn't just learn that now. You knew that then. You see, this is why when you see fighters who have longevity and they're undefeated, that's why you always hear fighters say, in my prime, in my prime, in my prime. Wait, no. We got to talk about your whole career, bro, not just your prime. Because we can say, okay, in this person's prime, I think this person would have beat this person. That don't mean spit, because it's not going to happen. It's never going to happen. That time is come and gone. You got to look at your whole career. Because when you fell off at 30, 34, and other people, 36, and other people continue to do all until they was 40, how you going to say you was better than that person? And this is the point what I'm saying. So you look at other people. Look at Usyk. Jelly Zane just fought the other day. Was he 41, 42? He just fought one the other day, a couple weeks ago. Stop, man. Stop. Look at Usyk right now. Look at Terrence Crawford. Look at Floyd Mayweather. This is the point of what I'm saying. You don't ever hear them. You don't hear winners say. You never hear Usyk talk about in my prime, my prime. You don't hear Crawford talk about in my prime or Floyd in my prime. You know the only people you hear say that is guys that got multiple losses and faded out way sooner than the guys that I just named. And that's why they always have to say in my prime what they would have done. But then in their prime, look at who they didn't fight. So every time you point a finger at somebody who has a way better resume than you, that just doesn't make any sense to me. And I don't care how sensational, how spectacular a fighter looks. Nobody is saying you're going to lose until you lose. Oh, he going to kill that guy. Then you go in and get your ass whooped. Oh, he old. Oh, he wasn't the same. Oh, he wasn't. Only guys that got multiple losses and got them at a time where, hey, you got other fighters who surpassed you. Because when you got knocked out at 36, they continued to fight, never been knocked out, and did nothing but win. So now you got to, in my prime. Oh, I was depleted. Oh, I wasn't the same because. All right. Well, it is what it is. But yeah, so I want to end on that note because that's exactly what I heard Regis say, and I never understood how a fighter just say, I knew I was going to lose, and I wasn't even trying to win. So you were just trying to survive. You put yourself through all of that just to go in there and lose and just get another paycheck, basically. Tell me how that makes any sense. Anyways, we're going to get our boogie on to this video. We're going to salute. Catch y'all on the next video.